Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation. Thank you very much for joining me. So today, more and more and more, and over the last couple days, I've been sinking more into a 5D type of reality where you can follow your excitement and things just start to come. And over the last couple months, I wasn't able to do videos, nothing was coming through, and I was very angry, and I had welts all over my face. I literally had like chemical looking blisters all over my face. I was not a happy camper. And all these things that can't exist in 5D were starting to well up and dissipate off. And it's a lot more peaceful state now. And the exercises that I've been doing as of late are twofold. There's one that was sent through from the creators, from Daniel Scranton, channeled by Daniel Scranton. It was years ago, at least 3 years ago, that I re-listened to yesterday. And I mixed it in with an exercise from Bashar, and there's this exercise where you do pros and cons, and you put them on a piece of paper, and the pros are on one side and the cons are on the other side. And because of the energy state, wherever you are, they can shift back and forth, the things you want and the things that you don't want, basically, divided on two sides of a piece of paper. And I've had that, and I have that over here. I modified it yesterday. Now, it's all about finding your excitement and your true and natural self, and following your excitement requires you to find the vibration, the frequency in the things that you have available to you, and you have an infinite amount of things available to you. But generally in the moment you have more of a finite amount of things available, in that your friends may not be available, or you might be in the process of doing something, or there's always an infinite amount of possibilities as far as things to do, but your circumstances for what the next most exciting thing are generally not infinite. So this exercise that came through from Daniel Scranton, from the creators, actually said to write down 10 things. And 10 things, if you were to take the training wheels off and you were to be a 5D person and the sky is the limit, nothing is in your way. The idea of money, the idea of physical location, the idea of whatever. What would you do if you could just do any damn thing you want to do right now? And I'm like, I like that exercise. And what I did is I modified it into the one from Bashar. And what was suggested is to, once you write down your 10 things, is to go back and feel your way through them, because when you look through your list, number 5 might be more exciting than number 1. So it's feeling your way through the process, and this whole process is feeling your way through the process of finding the most exciting things for you, and stripping away these old rationales and the ego. The ego wants to be in charge. It's there for a very good reason. It was there to keep you safe. It was there to give you the experience of physical reality in this physical construct, and now it's less and less necessary. Now, you're always going to have an ego, or else you wouldn't have a physical experience, but it does not need to be in charge. Your heart center, your more higher self, your higher energy state can be more in charge, and that's what this exercise is to do, is to go through and find which of these things have a higher frequency. So this list from Bashar, pros and cons, or the things that I like and the things that I don't like, or things I want to experience, things I don't want to experience. What I did is I sifted through those, and I did the same exercise. Out of these, which ones are more exciting, which one have a higher frequency? And I had some things in there. I wanted to take some trips. I wanted to go to Hawaii. I wanted to go to some different places. I haven't been out of the country. I've been to Mexico many, many years ago, but I haven't been out of the country in a long, long time. So my passport is empty and it needs some stamps. I'm like, what kind of stamps do I want for my passport? And there was always this idea of a visa in Italy, and it's like a beach community. And from looking that up, I looked it up to look it up on the map and to look at it in more detail, and the places and locations, just to get a better feeling for it. And I was looking through an email from Abraham-Hicks, and there was a little thing on the bottom. There's one that I really like that I read on a daily basis, one of their quotes, and there's a little button on the bottom. From doing this exercise, I found my way to this little button, and it says cruises, and I'm like, oh, Abraham-Hicks cruises. And they had clicked on that, and there's one for Mexico, there's one for the Mediterranean, and there's one for Alaska. I'm like, Alaska, no, I don't like the cold. And, it sounds beautiful, though, so it's not totally dismissed, but it's in a lower frequency. I don't want to go see icebergs, thank you. The Mediterranean one, I looked through, and it was like, it goes very close to these types of ideas of Ibiza. It goes to these little cute little towns. It went to some places in Italy. It just went all over the place in the Mediterranean. And I was like, that one's in September. The one in Cancun is already all sold out, and that's actually this month. So that one's now on the list. But that's the thread of excitement. I did this exercise. I did I did a search on the internet. Somehow I made my way back right to that email, and I saw the little button for the cruises, and excitement, excitement, excitement. So it is really following the frequency, and it is a very escalating, very like snowball rolling down the hill type of idea, where it's picking up momentum, picking up momentum, picking up momentum. You're literally following through a stream of your consciousness through more and more exciting parallel realities, and having more opportunities available to you because you are following your excitement. And there's some retreats, besides mine. There's I have a couple friends that went to Bridget's retreats on Following Your Excitement. It was later last year, and she's having some other ones. Actually, she's doing retreats all over the place, which is kind of cool. Her and her father, Kurt. And so there's many ways to put yourself into that frequency. There's many places you can go. There's many people you can hang out with. You can hang out with me. I have individual retreats. I've been working on a retreat in Maui for a group retreat. And so there's all these types of ideas. And then you can just find it within your own frequency and find the things. If your retreat doesn't sound exciting, to share that experience, find the things that are exciting to you. I was actually thinking of not necessarily going back to school, but I had come across this book a couple years ago, and it was kind of tore up. It looked like they had used it to make a vision board or something, and it was an art history book, and that bad boy was seriously thick. It was like that thick. It was like that big, and it was beautifully done, and it had all these chronologues in it where you could actually see timelines and all these things. And I'm like, that would be nice to go take an art history class, not necessarily for credit toward like a university degree, but to go, and I think they call it audit the class, where you can go and you can sit in the class. You pay for the class at a little lesser expense, and you get to experience a class, but you don't have to worry about testing or anything like that. That sounds about my speed. And this was kind of in the same idea of following the excitement, because I had looked through a couple things, and I'm like, oh, and then I came across the university site, and then I'm like, oh, they offer this. I'm like, oh, they offer art history. That's kind of cool. And I was researching something else, and I'm like, oh, well, that'd be nice just to go and audit a couple classes. It's not far, type of idea, to be with like-minded people, because I've always liked art, and I've always been interested in this type of concept and educating myself more to that end. So anyway, following your excitement. This is the idea. Find ways to follow your excitement. Find the frequency in the things. If you need to make a list, if you don't need to make a list, however you need to do this, it is about stepping back and finding the frequency, and these things will support you. It's really getting past the ego and negotiating, a lot of ego negotiation. Hey, you will be supported. Give me 10%, and I'll show you you're supported. If I can show you that you're supported, and we can get on a plane, go wherever the hell we want, and do whatever the hell we want to do, would that be okay with you? Well, the ego's going to be like, well, if you can show me, because the ego's all about business. It wants to know that it's going to be safe. It's there to keep you safe. And it thinks it's destructible, that it's not immortal, that it's not a timeless being, and it's not a being in a timeless reality manifest and crystallize into human form. Playing a great game, it thinks that it can die. So it's all about making sure that things are tended to, and it has served you very well, and it will continue to serve you, but you have to consider it like an 8-year-old child. You got to negotiate with it, and you got to make sure that it's coming along for the ride. All of you needs to come along for the ride. You in physical reality, the ego is a part of you, so you need to baby it and bring it along, and you need to have a little chat with it and come to a mutual understanding. So those are the things that I've been doing as of late. Those are the things I've been experiencing as of late. I think those are the tips that I would give you, is if you can just find the frequency in the thing. And if you have top 10 things, for instance, if you just want to do your top 10 things, rearrange them in the order of what would be exciting to you. And that might change on a daily basis. You may need to re-examine them every day and take a look. But in general, there's going to be things that are more exciting to you, topics that are more interesting to you than other things. So thank you very much for joining me again, Glenn Parker. High Vibration Foundation, coaching, life, business, and spiritual. Also retreats, boys and girls, don't forget retreats. If you do like this video, please do like, subscribe, and share.